What's up YouTube, Dal here from Zephyr War Games, bringing you a Charmer deck profile, but not just any Charmer, ladies and gentlemen. This deck profile will not only be A budget option as the title suggests, but I'll also show you B, which will also be all the other cards that if budget is not an issue for you, you can put them in the deck and still do incredibly well. So, before we get started, massive shout out to Joe. We worked together getting this deck put together, building it up. We've got a different strategy, we've got different ways of interactions, we've also got a couple of little techs in a side deck that we can show you as well. But for the short price of £62.91 or $80, you can have this entire deck and extra deck and side deck. You get all three components. Now, yes, you could actually build this with only buying 2 of the structure decks and then finding the last little pieces on their own. I'm going to take you through this profile. I'll show you with the main deck what everything is included within the structure decks, and I'll also show you the cards that are not within the structure deck and tell you how much we found them for on eBay. So they could even be cheaper if you have a good friend or you go by card market. It just gets better and better. With that said and done, don't forget we also have a giveaway going on where you can win yourself your very own copy of the Spirit Charmed structure deck. I will put the link in the description below. With that out of the way, please smash the like button, hit the notification bell, get this video to 50 likes, and I will bring you a combo guide and test hands as well. Now, with all that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into today's profile of Budget Charmers. Now, I'm actually going to run this at my locals this weekend. I'm probably just giving everyone that's going to be at my locals a massive kind of cheat con of how they can beat this. But we start off with 2 Awakening of Possessed Neurophagia Archfiend. So this is a brand new card that comes in the structure deck. What makes this one so good is you special summon this card from the hand or deck by sending 1 face-up spellcaster monster and 1 face-up level 4 or lower earth monster you control to the graveyard. Only use each of the following effects once per turn. When this card is special summoned, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard, negate its effects. So it basically lets you get back one of the materials you've used for its summon. Then, if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you add 1 Spiritual Earth Art card or 1 possessed spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So, the idea is, you're going to be able to normal summon a spellcaster. You then get to special summon the Earth Archfiend, or vice versa. As long as you've got those 2 materials on the board, you're then going to turn them into this guy. This guy will then bring back 1 of the level 4s. You're then going to link the 2 of them together to go into an Earth Charmer, Wind Charmer, whatever Charmer you want to, and then you're going to be able to go from there to get a Spirits card, all from technically 2 cards. So you've got a lot of consistency in there. The other cards that come in it, we have got 2 Familiar Possessed Asura. But all of the Familiar Possessed like spellcasters themselves share the same effect. You can special summon them from your hand or deck by sending 1 face-up Ashura the Earth Charmer and 1 face-up Earth monster you control to the graveyard. If special summoned by its own effect, they all do piercing damage, but we're not going to special summon them by their own effects. We're usually going to use them as their normal summon. We've then got 2 Familiar Possessed area. Now, this is the alternate art. I actually really prefer the original art, so much better. But I only got the 1 area, that's all I've kind of gone with. I've gone with 2 water because we actually focus on using the other water Awakening Possessed. And we've got a fire in the side deck, and you can also put the wind in there as well. Just because I've gone with a more defensive build, or we've gone with a more defensive build on this, that the water one lets you rip 1 from your opponent's hand at random, and then you both draw a card. The wind one lets you non-target bounce a card back to hand, and then the fire one lets you burn your opponent for 1 of their face-up monsters, for the same attack as 1 of their face-up monsters. So you can kind of see that the burn to me wasn't a necessity, and I kind of went for a bit more of a defensive play. We've then got the 1 Heater and the 1 Wind of the Charmers. So again, out of my 3 structure decks, I've got 1 of each. And I was like, I need the Earth one now, so I'm going to have to pick that up. Then for the monsters that you can special summon if you control a spellcaster, we play double Archfiend and the single Gigabyte. Purely because these actually have some very relevant grave effects. So, the Archfiend is, if this card is in your graveyard, during your opponent's end phase, if this card is in the graveyard, you type 1 face-up monster you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon this card. So then by doing that, Gigabyte also has the effect that If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you special summon one monster with 1500 attack and 200 defense, so the other one, from your deck except himself. But the idea is that these ones can all be special summoned. You can only control one of them, and you can special summon this card from your hand when you, if you control a spellcaster monster. So again, exactly like that. You're supposed to have one of these in the hand. You reveal, you normal summon the Win, or you normal summon any of the spellcasters, special summon the other one down, and off you go. And the idea is, as long as you've got an Earth monster and a spellcaster, you're spinning that back. You're going to go into the Earth Charmer as well. Then for your other, or one of your main normal summons for starting everything off, is triple Fairy Tale Luna. This actually can be played in a deck outside Fairy Tales for once. This is beautiful. So when this card is normal summoned, you can add one spellcaster monster with exactly 1850 attack from your deck to your hand. Guess what all of the big familiar possess are? 1850 attack. Boom. Now on top of that, she also provides you with a disruption as well. Is once per turn during either player's turn, you target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Your opponent can send one card with that monster's name from their deck or extra deck to the graveyard to negate this effect. Otherwise, return both this card and that card to the hand. So you get to go, okay, compulse. And if you do it on like a Verti Anaconda, they're not getting a Dragoon. If you do it on a Borrowed Savage before it equips, it's going back to the extra deck because not many people are playing 2 Savage or 2 Vertes. We've then got Triple Effect Veiler. This came in a structure deck, very good hand trap, is your alternative to Infinite Impermanence. And then we've got probably one of the best cards that came out in a structure deck, Triple Spirit Charmers. Love this card, artwork's beautiful as well, mix of the nice colours. So you discard one card, take 2 cards from your deck with different names from each other that are Charmer monsters, familiar possessed monsters, and or possessed spell and traps. Add one of them to the hand and set the other one. So you can reveal 2 spells, you spend 2 traps, you can reveal 1 monster, 1 trap, 1 spell, whatever you want, and then you get to set them on the field. So if you're setting the next card, which is the Awakening of the Possessed, you can activate it straight away. And if not, you're setting up the traps, which are actually very good forms of disruption. So Awakening Possessed, yes, this was the card that we received in like Duvo or Dual Overload. So it is an ultra rare if you want to bump it up if you want. Monsters you control, all monsters you control, gain 300 attack for each different attribute. You're playing Earth, Waters, Winds and Fires. You've got it all covered. Not to mention the Luna, which is a light. If you get all of those on the board, you're giving your cards a nice 1500 boost. Monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. If a spellcaster monster or monsters with 1850 original attack is normal or special summoned to your field, draw 1 card. Only use each effect once per turn. So, normal summon Luma, draw a card. Nice. Then we've got the field spell. I love this field spell as well. I wish I'd seen this in like American print because it is quite a dark field spell. So I reckon it might pop. And then we've got the 1 Terraforming. Don't have to play Terraforming, but it does give you that option for your side deck as well, which will show you when you play Secret Village spellcasters. So, negate your opponent's first monster effect that resolves each turn while you control a spellcaster monster with 1500 defense. During your main phase, you can reveal 1 spellcaster monster from your hand, and if you do, add 1 monster with the same attribute but 1500 attack and 200 defense from your deck to your hand, and if you do, shuffle the revealed card into the deck. So the idea is you're going to reveal a additional spellcaster, you're going to put it back into the deck, and then you're going to add one of your possessed monsters, so your Gigabyte or your Archfiend, to your hand. So as long as you've got 2 spellcasters that are going to be catching 1850, you're able to put them back in the deck and summon them off. And then you do have to control a monster with 1500 defense, which of course all of your familiar possessed are. So the idea is that straight away you're going to go with familiar possessed, reveal another one in the hand, get the other component you need, special summon this down, and then you have the ability, spellcaster in the water, to bring out the water one, or if you add the Archfiend, you special summon down the Archfiend. The Archfiend in this will go to the graveyard. The Archfiend will bring back the familiar possessed. This now has a negate. And then the familiar possessed, you could, if you wanted to, link it away and set yourself up with another spell or trap. We've then got Triple Possessed Partnership. Again, artwork is absolutely stunning. You've got to love this. I mean, if the camera will focus, you'll see it, how cool it is. So it's all the Charmers with all of their monsters as like armors or just cloaks, and it looks really, really cool. Again, this doesn't need to be played at free, but I still think it's a really good card to play around with. So you special summon 1 spellcaster monster with 1500 defense from your hand or graveyard in attack position or face down defense position. Then if you control monsters with 2 or more different attributes, you can destroy, non-target, 1 face-up card on the field. You can banish this card from the graveyard, then target one possessed continuous spell or trap card in your graveyard and place it face up on your field. You can only use one possessed partnership effect once per turn. So the second effect, the only thing you're going to really rely on or really resolve is going to be your Awakening Possessed. But it still gives you a way to loop that should your opponent get rid of it. And then finally, we've got Double Unpossessed. This one did come as a super in the OTS 14s. So I'm definitely going to be looking at bumping these up. It is a continuous trap, so charm on monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. Nice. If a familiar possessed monster you control attacks an opponent's monster, it gains 800 attack during damage calculation only. If a monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, while this card is already face up on in your spell and trap card zone, you can special summon one spellcaster monster with 1500 defense from your deck, whose attribute is different from at least one of those destroyed monsters' original attributes on the field, in attack position or face down defense position. Only use the effect once per turn. So if you wanted to play the original Charmers and the Charmers with the flip effect, you could do. Now everything that all comes within the structure deck. So straight away, you've got 30 cards that have made up this structure deck. So 3 structure decks, I paid £8 for each of mine, so that's like 24 quid. And depending on which locals you go to, you've already built 3/4 of the deck. Now the cards that don't come in the deck that you can play in there are stuff like Crackdown as well, but these are the 10 cards that me and Joe decided to go with. So we went with Double Solemn Judgment, £3 each on eBay. You can probably pick up the pair for 5 quid. Solemn Strike. Again, you can pick these up as commons at £2 each. And then we went with a Dogmatic of Punishment, because you don't actually need to go through the extra deck. You've got a lot of cards that control your lower monsters, boost up your lower monsters. You've got a nice range of attacks in your extra deck, but this is just another form of disruption. For the other monsters, and again, it's like 10p. It's a 10p common, come on. We've then got the Awakening Possessed Gigabyte. So this, of course, is the one that rips from hand. If you want to play the fire, you can do. If you want to main the wind one, you can do as well. This is only like £1, and it comes out as a common in Phantom Rage. It's going to be like 10p. One Codebreaker 0 Day, again 10p. One of your core plays is to make Selene. Selene is going to bring back a Spellcaster. Now, because you don't have access in this budget version to something like Access Code, all you then need to do is be able to have a Familiar Possessed in hand to special summon itself, or use your normal summon of the turn, and then you can go for the full Codebreaker combo, which allows you to get into a Link 4, plus a Link 2 and a Link 3, and the Link 3 is going to do a back row for you as well, and they're all pretty beefy monsters. We've then got Double Super Poly. You play so many different attributes in your main deck that you can pretty much Super Poly anything away. Now these are about 3 quid each. You can probably get the pair again for £5. Don't forget they've had Super, Ultra, Common, and now Secret, and now Ultimate as well. So these would be a lot easier to pick up. Plus it gives you a natural main deck out to Dragoon boards. It gives you natural main deck out to Dino boards. It also gives you a natural main deck out to Dragon Link boards as well. So this gives you a full range of dealing with your opponent's stuff. You've then got the one Monster Reborn 10p common, and then you've got the one Called by the Grave, like a 3 quid card still. I mean, come on. There's got to be loads of these around. But anyway, when me and Joe tallied all of this up, we worked out that you're probably looking at about an extra 10 quid there and a 10 quid there. So straight away, you spent 24 quid, you're at 48 quid, you've got 12 quid left to play around with for your extra deck. Well, a little bit more than that, about £14.90p to be exact, you can play around with your extra deck. So I'm going to show you exactly how we spent that additional £14 as well. So, here's a Charmer deck. I don't know why these weren't in the structure deck, but we do play one of each of the Charmer. The one Wind, one Earring, one Asura, and one Heater, sorry. The rares are about 50p each. The Supers are about £1 each, and the Ultra Wind is £1 each. So, I mean, ultimately, you can probably pick all of these up for 3 quid, if not less. I mean, these should have come in the structure deck, but these are just your easy go-to Link 2s, and then if your opponent has a Water, Wind, Earth, or Fire in the graveyard, you're going to bring it back, and that's going to give you instant Selene access. You've then got the Codebreaker Link 2 and the Codebreaker Link 3. These are like 10p commons, guys. 10p commons, so I'm not even going to count them towards the tally. The one card in your extra deck that's like, oh, that's painful, is Selene. Now, eBay price for Selene is about £8, but she does instigate quite a lot for you, because you can bring back any of your Charmers. That then allows you to get into your Link 4 boss plays. Now here you cry, what are your Link 4 boss plays when your extra deck is so restricted? Well, I'm going to tell you. A £1 Topologic Zeroboros, a £2 Unchained Abomination, and a £3 Borrowload Dragon. So, Again, straight away, you got 8 out of our £14.90p that we could have spent. 8 of that goes straight away there. You've got £6 to play around with. You got £3 there. You got £2 there. You got £1 there. Boom. Everything else is like 50p to £1. We're not even counting most of this stuff. And that's only as eBay prices as well. You've got a lot more wiggle room than you actually consider. So Unchained Abomination, 2 monsters including Link Monster, just gives you pop effects and destruction effects. Borrowload is a main deck out to a lot of cards that people actually forget about as well. A lot of people don't even consider a Borrowload Dragon until it's dropped on them, and then they're in big trouble. And being able to steal your opponent's Dragoon, ugh, I'll take your £30 card with my £3 card. Deal with it. And then of course we've got Super Poly targets. So Starving Venom came as a rare, 50p. Mud Dragon came as a rare, 50p. Draken Spelio, common, 10p. Borrowload Furious Dragon, £1 on eBay. £1. Doesn't even need to be him, can be something else. El Shadow Anontelis came as a common in the Shadow deck that no one plays. This can be anything. This is just for the Shadow matchup. This is literally just go, okay, cool, I'm going to use your Winder and my Urine, and I'm going to make myself with a Super Volley and Anontelis. Now, it doesn't need to be it. Like I said, this can be absolutely anything you want. It can be a Bagoose guy and be an Abyss Dweller. This is just to give you some examples. And that kind of made our entire extra deck something like 20 quid, if not less, about 18 quid, which puts you bang on the budget with about 61p left to spend, or whatever 61p translates to in American dollars. Easy as that. Now, if budget is not an issue for you guys, and you are going to go money bags on this deck and spend exactly or anything you want, these are the other options that I would highly advise. You change your Effect Veilers into Infinite Impermanences. You add Ash Blossoms in for any of the other cards as well. So straight away, Ash Blossom can come in. You can drop the Lunas down. You can take out the Gigabyte. You can cut the Possessed Partnership down to 1. You can probably cut down the get rid of the Terraforming as well. So you've got a bit of wiggle room there. For a draw engine, you play Pot of Extravagance. Now, we wanted to control our extra deck a little bit more, but considering this is like a £50 playset straight away, you can see why that would have eaten up the remainder of our budget on 3 cards. Other requirements could be stuff like Pot of Desires as well, but we do play a lot of one-offs in this deck that we don't really want to banish if we haven't got to them already. So yeah, this is another upgraded option. For your extra deck, IP Masquerena, Nightmare Unicorn, Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Cerberus. A second Selene, an Access Code Talker for game, a Predaplant Verte Anaconda, and a Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Now, if you want to roll your dice on Phantom Rage, and you're like, Dale, what budget engine can I put in my deck right now that's going to serve me really, really well, but can also let me play the brand new secret that's a rank 12 that's probably going to be about 50 quid in Phantom Rage? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what you can do. That's it. Like, £2 card. Like, come on, guys. If people don't have Utopias, just give them a Utopia. Everyone should have a blooming Utopia by now. So, why is this so good, Dale? I hear you scream. Well, my rank 4 spot is straight away going to be Utopia. Then what I can do is put Utopia the Lightning on top. Then what I can do with that is attack with Utopia the Lightning, make it 5k if I want to. My opponent cannot respond with card effects. Beautiful. Then in main phase 2, I can rank this on top of the level 12 Lightning Thunder King, whatever it's called. Now I'm actually going to have a look because it got revealed earlier this week of exactly what it is and what it can do. So, it is Divine Arsenal AA Zeus Sky Thunder. It is a secret rare. Once per turn, if an XYZ monster battled this turn, you can also XYZ summon this card by using one XYZ material you control, XYZ monster you control as material. You detach 2 materials from this card. Send all other cards from the field to the graveyard. Once per turn, if another card or card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can attach 1 card from your hand, deck, or extra deck to this card as material. So, that is just a future. Keep your eyes out, guys, because this will put in work if you want it to in this particular deck. I mean, imagine backing your deck up, right, with Dragoons as defensive options, and then if you don't kill your opponent, you can then make Zeus. And Zeus is then going to nuke the board. Just a beautiful little option. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. Now, when I first saw this structure deck, again, quite like a lot of you, I was like, where's my common evenly? This isn't the best structure deck. But then when I was working through it with Joe and I was putting this together, I went, hang on a minute. This is actually kind of cool. It's kind of interesting. It's got some nice little text that not a lot of people actually think about, and can be made on a budget, or if you're fancy and breaking the bank, can also be made that way as well. So I've put this together. I've had a lot of fun with it. Like I said, if you want to see combos and test hands, make sure this video gets 50 likes and I'll be more than happy to bring it for you as well. I will be taking this to my local, so I am going to have a bit of fun with this as well, and I'll report back to you to see how well I did with it on top of that. It is a very, very good control deck, and because of the side deck as well, you do have a very, very nice ability to kind of disrupt your opponent. Speaking of the side deck, just before I forget, all of this came with the structure deck. I didn't spend an extra penny on this. This was all in the side deck, guys. So, True Dark Ruler no more. Goodbye going first decks. Triple D barrier. Now, okay, you might be like, well, that's not going to be so good. Wait until you face a Rogue Madolche deck. This card's coming in clutch. We've then got the 1 in A and the 1 Awakening Possessed, purely because, in time, this will give you burn damage. Now, I'm not saying stall the game. No one would do that, would they? Come on, guys. But what I'm saying is, if your opponent tries to stall the game, they're like, haha, I've beat you. And you go, main phase 1. And they go, time's called. And they go, yeah, I guess I win. You go, nope, you got a monster on board. I'm going to make this. I'm going to burn you. Guess I win. So this can come straight in for the water one. Easy done. Secret Village, you're playing a spell heavy deck? Not anymore. Non-target, you say. Fine, I'm going to flip everything face down and then follow up with a Raigeki. Because Konami, look at that, 2020 vision, Konami gave us a Raigeki so we could flip everything face down or Dark Ruler it and then Raigeki it. Amino Wato Raigeki? No. Dark Ruler Book of Eclipse Raigeki, that's where it's at. And then finishing up, double Twin Twister because, you know, we hate back row. You've got to make sure you've got back row outs in your deck, people. Come on. And again, all of this came in the structure deck. So apart from the extra deck and 10 main deck cards, everything came in the structure deck, guys. Absolutely everything. Yes, it's not on the same level as Salamangreats, but do not write this deck off. It is incredibly fun. The artwork is beautiful. It's so colourful. It's one of the most colourful colourful decks I've seen in a long time in Yu-Gi-Oh! So it's always cool to put it together. Anyway, like I said, we do have a giveaway going on for the structure deck where you can go check that out. If this video gets 50 likes, I will bring you a combo tutorial / test hand video. But for now, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Smash that like button. Smash subscribe because it means so much to us and we can keep producing content like this for you. So excited. This deck was awesome to build. Had a lot of fun putting together and that is part of the excitement for Yu-Gi-Oh! But anyway, thanks for watching and as absolutely always, guys, stay safe and happy dueling.